what do you think that we should do when one of our brothers isn't stepping up? They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Like, how do you, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, is it's kind of hard to talk to them because we don't want to disrespect our brothers, but at the same time, they need to do certain things. What do we do?
So I can tell you what I do. And a lot of people might not agree with this, but I do one conversation, one follow-up, and I just love you from a distance.
Because you can take a horse of water, but you can't make him drink.
Exactly. And if I try to make you drink, it's only going to make me thirsty.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be putting in all this effort, all this time, trying to pour into you when I could be pouring into myself and pouring into the other people who are there. You know what I'm saying? Man, Remember the Titans is one of my favorite movies. So there's a scene at the very end where anybody who watched it.
I watch it like every year. It's one of my favorite movies.
There you go. So Petey,
good.
Right? They were supposed to be. So the game was being. They were being cheated on. They were being cheated.
Yeah.
Right. The refs were calling like bad calls, this, that, and the third. So the coach is like, "Hey, Petey, don't let this guy get up over on you."
Yeah.
And Petey was like,
"Don't get beat deep."
Yeah, don't get beat deep. He was like, "Well, they holding on me all the time." And he's like, "I'm not here for your excuses. I just want you to do your job."
Mm-hmm.
And then Petey walks away, and the guy's like, "Forget about him." That's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, just do your job. Everything else gonna get taken care of.
You know what sucks? I'm like the other coach. I want to help them. I want to find what they can be good at and put them into that position.
Nope. I mean, and that's not wrong. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you can't.
But you can get dragged down. It's like what lifeguards are taught. Like if somebody starts pulling you down whenever you're trying to save them, you got to poke them in the eyes and get them off you, or else y'all both kind of die.
1,000%. 1,000%. And you can't save everybody. That's just the reality. You can't save everybody. So when I recognize it, and the reason I'm like this now is because when I first started like growing and got, quote unquote red pilled or whatever, that was what I wanted to do. I was telling everybody like, dude, come on over here. Here's the here's the information. This is how we win. And eventually, like, I just recognized that I was going sleepless nights because my best friends were like not coming along. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, why are these dudes not listening? And when I recognize that I'm spending like hours just like thinking about shit that I shouldn't be thinking about, I'm over here trying to work, and like these thoughts are just popping in my mind like, man, this nigga ain't even picked up the phone. I'm trying to tell this nigga about this opportunity. When that started happening, I started recognizing, damn, you know what? The funny thing is, and this is gonna get like really really dark. The funny thing is, if I were to die from stress, because that's like one of the number one causes of death in men, heart attacks, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to die from stress thinking about this, people would mourn me, but they would move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When that clicked for me, I was like, oh shit, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna love you from a distance, and I'm not gonna stress about it, because I could drive myself to an early grave stressing about trying to pull you along. Or I can just live my best life. You see it, and if you want to come on later,
or move a new person into the circle.
Exactly, 1,000%.
Sometimes, like when one door closes, a better one opens anyway.
1,000%.
And like you got to let go of that person so you can find the better guy that's really supposed to come and help you out. It's this is a subject that like really drives me crazy because, like I said, I'm that guy that I want to save every fucking guy. Like I truly believe every man can be saved. Like, I truly believe it. I just feel like they haven't talked about the things that they need to talk about. They haven't learned to handle, like, the certain things that they're not handling correctly in their life. Like, they're not stepping up to. It's all cope and it's all fear. Everything is based on fear. It's just like what Yoda says in Star Wars, you know? Like, you like, literally, like fear controls all of us. It doesn't matter who you are. Your fear controls you. And most men, the reason why they're stuck in the position they're in or they're not upgrading like we want them to is 1,000% fear. Always
I think
fear.
It's comfort.
Comfort.
I think the number one thing is comfort. Like at the end of the day, most people, man, this dude I do a lot of
paralysis. You know.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of like motivation stuff. This one guy said, if you're, he didn't say a number. He said broke. He's like, if you're broke, you have no business watching TV, watching Netflix. He was like, what the fuck are you doing at 9 o'clock, kicking your feet up?
Yeah.
He's like, if I'm broke, he's like, when I was broke, I couldn't sleep. And that's kind of how I am. I'm like, when I'm thinking about when I heck, the Saturday, I was working to 2 a.m. When I got home, I was like, man, I got some other stuff I need to do. I fell asleep at the laptop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I fell asleep at the laptop. That's kind of how I am. I'm like, when I know that I'm not where I need to be, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, that's how I think guys ought to be. But most men, and I get it because it's easier to be comfortable. It's easier to kind of like cope,
just chill,
like you said, just to chill. So most guys are kind of like just comfortable being uncomfortable, and it's
so what do you think about how, like, I'm just kind of wording it a little bit different, just wordplay here. Like most men are all comfortable, like especially blue pill men, super comfortable. Like they got their 9 to 5, they do whatever it is, and they're happy, like play video games, whatever it is. And so they're super comfortable. But I would say the guys that are red pill, that at that point, once you know that you're within hand's reach to like get the knowledge to something, like the internet's there, or you have a mentor, you have somebody that can teach you something like that. I'd say if you have the knowledge and you're still choosing to be comfortable, it's fear, because you know what's
like
out
fear
there.
of failure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we know that paralyzes people. Like we know that people are scared of trying things. You don't want to be judged. I failed at multiple businesses before I ever was successful.
Okay.
One of the most embarrassing feelings in my whole life was every time I would have to start a new business, and people would ask me so what happened with that last one? It's one of the most embarrassing things ever. Most people don't want to do that. They don't want to go through like that
2,
pain.
3, 4. Then all of a sudden,
everybody
looks at you.
I did 10. It took 10 guys. Took 10 before I won. So it's just and I think a lot of people are so scared of that, but it was in those failures that I learned everything. I wouldn't even have this studio right now if it wasn't for all those fucking failures. And it just drives me crazy that guys are scared to fail, because I embraced every one I ever had. I'm proud of every L I ever had because it was a lesson. That's just it's sad to me that guys are being comfortable or being scared, either one.
So another side question for y'all. I know a lot of women like to say that they're attracted to dudes that have drive and ambition, but in the same breath, do you really think that most people even know what that really means to have drive and ambition?
Ooh, that is like a good thing.
Nah,
you don't think most people even know what it is?
Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
Because it's hard to recognize if you've never had it.
Yeah, it's not.
Like
it's
you
not
can't
hard
even
to
put a name on it, kind of.
It's not hard to recognize if you haven't had it, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Like, because we're all products. of
from
what
our
we see.
fathers or from a mentor
From
or
anybody,
something. Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
That's why I was like the Andrew Tate thing. That's why I'm like, nobody has an excuse because you've seen it. He told you his story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, but it's one thing to see it through a video and see it in real life. Like see it like your father. Like like for me, I have 2 amazing fathers that were huge hustlers. So it's like a lot of what I do is natural to me because I never saw anything else. I never saw anything less than that. Like both of my fathers worked 24/7, it seemed like, and they were happy with it. So it's like that's how I was. I was working my ass off whenever I was a kid. Like my stepfather worked me like I was a farm boy, and I mean I hated it at the time, but I love it now because I wouldn't have the work ethic I have today if it wasn't for it.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. The only reason why I say that doesn't necessarily. So you get a like a stimulus boost, right, from having the person next to you, right? But you don't necessarily need the person next to you. You just need to hear the story.
True.
And the reason I say that is because, and I love sports references because I feel like it's the most basic type of information that you can get that applies to any situation, right? So that being said, there are thousands of kids who watched Deion Sanders, right, become one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time, or thousands of kids who watched Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James become the greatest basketball player of all time, right? And those kids go up to be in the NBA or be in the NFL or whatever else it is, right? They don't have to actually know those guys or see them to know the type of drive that comes from being that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just know that this dude had to be working. Or they'll see an interview where Kobe Bryant was like, while they were at the club, I was in the gym.
Yeah, out 7 days a week. So he says I did 4 hours every day.
4 a.m. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you can read a book and go, oh, that's what he did? But the issue is that after you've read that book, after you've seen that person, what do you do with that information? You know what I'm saying?
Do you get paralyzed or do you do something?
Because now you have the actual, you have the visual representation of what it looks like to be this person. Like, I think we're going to talk about it later. But the difference between now, 2023, this decade, and the previous decade is that previously you didn't get to see your mentors. You just saw the Bugattis. You just saw the women. You didn't see the process. You know what I'm saying? You had to wait for a documentary or some type of movie or something like that.
For real, yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you get to see these guys. Like, if you're following, I keep talking about these guys because they're like the closest. Actually, I'm going to give you, instead of Fresh and Mind, I'm going to talk about one of my mentors. This dude posts every day, right? And when he's posting his laptop, he's posting what he's doing. And when I talk to him, he's like, man, I've been working all day, right? I look at that and I go, well, I ain't been working all day. I need to go and figure out something else I need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? One of my buddies, he works 3 jobs, right? He does, he's an engineer, he does roofing, and then he does financial services.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Right? He's not that far removed from what Myron does.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So when I look at that, I go, okay, well, if they're working 140 hours purposefully, I need to be figuring out purposeful things that I could be doing to keep my mind busy.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, Sergio here. I just want to mention I've created a completely free guide that shows you exactly how I went from having low confidence and being painfully awkward around women to easily meeting and dating numerous high quality desirable women in real life without the use of any dating apps or social media. So if you're struggling to get out there, if you have approach anxiety or don't know what to say or how to interact with women to make them want you and are sick of using dating apps with low value girls that hundreds of other guys have been chatting with, click the link in the description below to grab your free guide right now. And if you want private mentorship with me personally to help guide you every step of the way in this process, check out my mentorship program in the description too. I would be happy to help you reach your dating goals and overcome any obstacle you may face. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. I hope to see you soon. Peace out.